Okay, as you all know, I'm very familiar with the crazy things that happen on this journey when you're going live, or for myself, right now I'm recording. iPad went dead. I didn't even see that it was low. But so either way, God was just sharing with you all when it went dead earlier about how, I felt like I was in the prime. I felt like I was on a journey to finding me again. I was in the middle of my whole life just moving forward, and things were popping, and things were gonna, they were gonna be beautiful, and I was just, finding my way. And then that hit. So what I'm grateful for is over the last 2 years, especially this last year, and me going on the journey and me being intentional and me finding so many tools and tactics to find healing. I remember whenever I was even in therapy, I remember my therapist, I remember what she said. She said, it's going to happen for you. I don't know when. I just love when she said this after the death of my son, and I realized I needed some deep grief counseling, because I had so many wounds that he and I had never healed. We had mended some stuff, but I still had a lot of wounds that just were not healed, between a mother and a son. And I knew that. I was very, very realistic, and that caused the pain to be even deeper. And then shortly after that, through the connections and through my connections with, with other people and issues and circumstances and situations that was coming up after his death, it just was like, it the only way I can explain it. And I finally explained this to someone. When my son passed, it was like a glass jar that fell and broke on the ground. And right after that, within a couple months, it was like someone came along and they just took their feet. And I didn't feel that way right away in the connection, but eventually in the connection I did. It just felt like they was constantly stepping on the pieces of glass and crushing them smaller. And it seems like every little thing that was coming, and it might have not been that bad, but for me, it felt that way. That was the experience. It was like somebody came along and they continued to crush and step in every situation and circumstance and issue. And I didn't like what I was feeling on the inside. And I knew it wasn't me. I knew I knew that just wasn't me. And I knew I had to dig deep. And as I said earlier, digging deep is where I found a journey to healing that gave me great understanding, not just about myself, but about so many people that are just around, and gave me understanding that, why people live and do what they do and how they make these decisions. Hurting people hurt people. Miserable people want to make people miserable. And sometimes they don't even know it. They don't even see it. I'm just being frankly honest. And sometimes people do know it and they're aware of it. They don't even know how to fix it. They just accept it. And again, those that are around them accept that same thing from them. So I'm just grateful that I knew YouTube would be one of my avenues. I know that this channel is going to be one of the most healing, one of the most powerful things that someone can click on, or someone can share their content and they can find their way. They can find hope. They can release the fears to healing. Because let me tell you something, to go on a journey to healing authentically, there's a lot of fears, because there's things that you got to face that you're responsible for. And then there's things that you got to face that other people are responsible for, intentionally or even non-intentionally, but the intentional is what gets you. Then there's going to be times in my situation that only the Holy Spirit can reveal to me through the divinity of what was going on in my life. And there were days that I was instructed, be still, search me, separate yourself, fast, pray. And God began to reveal to me the deeper things that were going on in my life, and the ugly things and that were going on in the life of those that were connected and that were being used by the enemy to attack themselves after they had even attached. First, there was an that's a whole nother message. Attractment. That's a whole nother word. I'm making it up. Then there's an attachment, and then there was an attackment. It was an attraction, then there was an attach, and then there was an attack. So whether it was intentional or not, trust me, it's real. And it's received different from the heart of a broken, very vulnerable person. It's just the way it goes. It is. I hear people say, I say what I want to say and do what I want to do and act how I want to act. It's their fault how they receive it. Well, you're right. But when you're dealing with someone, not a victim, but it's real life that's hurt and broken, and don't even know how they're going to live or take their next breath. Don't know how they're going to thrive and survive this thing. And that's your attitude. Trust me, you have an issue on the inside with your heart. period. Yes. And there's some blockages and there's some things that did not develop in your life skills. And there are so many people that think this way. So for me, I had to say, you're worthy, you're worth it, you were created for such a time as this, and you don't have to settle or stay in this position. And you can trust God for your complete healing and move forward. And as I begin to do that, not on my own, but with the help of friends, very few intimate friends that know my whole journey. Yep. And as I begin to move forward and as I begin to trust my heart again and the greatest part of it all, when you really get healed, the anger is removed. The hurt may can still be there, but some of the anger, the revenge is removed. All of that. That's how you know you're really growing. And the most powerful thing is when you can really pray and intercede for those folks, because you're aware that it's a deeper issue. And it's a demonic issue. It's beyond. It's an uncontrollable one, and that's where you know you've grown. Because one thing I can tell you that Jesus did when he was at the cross, and I will call his name over and over again. So if that ain't your movement or your belief, then this ain't the page or the channel for you. But one thing I can tell you is I was so reminded of when he was at the cross. And he was offended, abused, misused, hurt, scorned, and all those things. When he began to say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And that's where I really began to search healing for myself, not to reciprocate what was done to me, not to retaliate, none of that. And that's a whole nother journey and a whole nother time and process. But that's what real healing does for you and can and will do for you. And that's when God says, you're getting it, my daughter. Now I can trust you. Now you can move forward and grow. Now you can share. Now you can connect. Now you can teach. So that's it. I just had to come back. This is part 2 to part 1. And again, I'm proud of myself. I went, I think, 24 minutes and 7 minutes here, so I'm done. So thank you all again for subscribing. Thank you for liking and sharing. Thank you for continuing to watch. And even when you watch the video, you can hit the like button, because that gives the content value. And you can comment. You can ask questions. When I go live, I love it, because when I follow my other YouTubers, I love it, I love it, I love it. You can literally ask questions while they're going live, and they can answer it. They can see the content. You make comments, and they can respond. I love that too. So that's why I'm excited about getting the numbers up. But you know what I said today, God, I trust you. When I get to 1,000, it'll be in your timing, and when it is, and I'll be able to go live, and we'll be able to converse openly, and where you can ask, but you can still ask questions in the comments, and I will get back with you. I will tell you that I love it, because I've had 2 or 3 people that have reached out to me through Messenger from my Facebook Live the other day, because I'm that authentic. I'm that transparent. I ain't got time to be fake and phony. I don't have time to cover up and mask. Folks dying. I could die next week. And y'all gonna say, well, she died trying. She told her truths. She died trying to help people to heal. That's it. Because trust me, we came here to leave here. It's just what we do while we're here. We came here to leave here. It's just what we do while we're here. And I know that I came to impact. I know that I came to inspire, to encourage, and not to impress. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. I love you all so much. I appreciate you. Pray for me as I pray for you. Good night.